Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Shirley's Channel Chatter. So I want to say welcome. Thanks for being here. Great to see you. So want to go over a few things today on my channel. So what I did a little research. Now on my previous video, I talked about a few law terms. So I did a little more research and I found so many more different areas of law, and I just want to go over a few here today. And so let's get started. So just a few more law terms. I said it's probably about 20 of them, but I probably won't be able to go over all of them in this video. So, because it might take me some time, I want to read through, some of them. So just to, I think it's, let me count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 23 different areas of law, but I know there's plenty more. I have 23 here, then I have some more on this page here, but I probably have to do this in 2 videos. So we have, I want to start out with, Admiralty Maritime Law. Admiralty Maritime Law. So Admiralty law regulates economic transactions and property disputes involving maritime trade, sailors, navigation, or land-based activity that is maritime in nature. Admiralty law is not, however, synonymous with the law of the sea, which is in the realm of international public law and deals with rights to navigation, minerals, or coastal waters jurisdiction. And then we have bankruptcy law. U.S. bankruptcy law applies to the insolvency problems of individuals as well as organizations. This type of law issues directly from the Constitution and is in the domain of federal law, though state laws have an important effect on bankruptcy procedure. Then it says legal practitioners in this field are experts in the U.S. Bankruptcy Code, which is a subset of the United States Code. So bankruptcy law. So in other words, you're working for a company, or you're working and you're working, you bought a house, you're paying all your bills, and then later on you find that you got in a hole and you needed to file bankruptcy. So, check out a bankruptcy lawyer, so you can get help with that. And then I also have business law. So I did take business law at Australia University. Business law, corporate law. So corporate law involves the formation, dissolution, dissolving, and all other legal aspects of the administration of corporations. So business law, corporate law. So if you needed to, dissolve your business, you can get you a corporate lawyer. Typical duties of corporate lawyers include mergers, acquisitions, internal reorganization, reorganizing your business, or disputes between corporations and individuals concerning liability, patents, and compliance with state and federal law, as well as international accords. A legal professional whose sole client is a corporation is generally known as in-house counsel. So if you're having problems with your business and you need some help forming your corporation, your LLC, get you a business lawyer, corporate lawyer. Then we have the civil rights law. So, previously on one of my videos, I talked about Dr. Martin Luther King and all those that were involved with the civil rights movement. Rosa Parks, Dr. Martin Luther King, Harriet Beecher Stowe, and then I talked about the Dred Scott decision. But civil rights law aims to balance competing interests between institutions of government on the one hand and individuals or groups of individuals on the other hand. Lawyers in such practice may work on cases involving discrimination and unfair practices that infringe on rights and liberties such as expression, employment, housing, education, or other entitlements. So, if you need a civil rights lawyer, you feel that you're having any problems with discrimination, unfair practices, on a job or out in society. If somebody is infringing on your maybe copyrights or something like that, copyright, patents, trademark, because it says they deal with practices that infringe on your rights and liberties such as expression, employment, housing, education, and other entitlements. Then we have criminal law. So a lot of us know about criminal law and civil law. Civil law deals with, money damages. And so civil law deals with money damages and, for the tortfeasor. And then criminal law is kind of geared towards, maybe, locking somebody up. So criminal law focuses on behaviors that are sanctioned under the criminal code and defined as illegal. Prosecutors and district attorneys sanction illegal behavior, while criminal defense lawyers represent clients accused of criminal activity. Both prosecution and defense professionals deal with issues in individual liberty, basic rights, and responsibilities. In some common law countries other than the U.S. and in most civil law countries, the roles of a prosecutor and defense lawyer are separated more clearly into different professional specialties. And then we have entertainment law. So many different areas of law. I just wanted to see, I was so interested in just seeing what they were about. Because we know the basics, criminal, civil, then we know tort law, but there's so many different other areas. Then we have entertainment law. Entertainment law predominantly relates to intellectual property law, but is more specifically centered on rights and royalties issues to media in the arts, music, television, cinema, or athletics. Sports lawyers ensure compliance with regulations for professional or amateur athletics and may represent an athlete for a contractual transaction. With the rapid development of information technology and social media, entertainment lawyers operate in an environment of constant change. So in other words, entertainment law, you are in the entertainment business, you need an entertainment lawyer because you're dealing with, writing songs and producing songs. You want to own your masters. You want to make sure you have everything in order because don't want nobody to infringe on, your songs. You write a song, you making CDs, you going to the studio, you're doing this and doing that with your music career. You get an entertainment lawyer. Because it says entertainment law predominantly relates to intellectual property law. So your intellect is your mind. Intellectual property, you write a book, that's entertainment. You write a book, you have music on CDs or something like that. Then you're dealing with your royalties and a whole lot of stuff. So, if you're in the music industry, you would need an entertainment lawyer. Then we have environmental law. Environmental law concerns a multitude of statutes, treaties, regulations, and conventions based in state, federal, or transnational law. See, that's another term, transnational law. Legal professionals practicing in this field may represent government agencies, advocacy organizations, or individuals. Environmental lawyers also focus on cases involving natural resource management. So in environmental law, an environmental lawyer. Environmental lawyers also focus on cases involving natural resource management, the curbing of pollution, or disputes about land and littoral use. Public health components are increasingly common in the practice of environmental law. So they deal with environmental law. The environment, public health. Might be some health concerns, safety concerns, or disputes. They deal with disputes, and they say environmental lawyers, they focus on cases involving natural resource management. So in other words, different countries and different states may have to manage their natural resources. So the environment, the environment has to be, a lot of countries and states, we want, well, we do too. We want we want our environment to be safe and healthy. We don't want no pollution. We don't want no pollution. So environmental law, family law, family law. Yeah, every time I get to reading, it's either my nose gets stopped up or I get throat. I have my water today. Family law. Family law focuses on legal relations between individuals in the context of the family. Individuals are the context of the family. Lawyers in this field typically work in smaller firms and specialize in a variety of areas, ranging from child welfare through adoption to divorce. So in other words, somebody's dealing with a family issue, they want to adopt a child, or dealing with a divorce issue, custody battles with your ex-husband or your wife, so family law, that's a good area. I would love to be a family law lawyer. Then we have health law. Health law is an evolving field that focuses on legislation related to health care. Health law attorneys may represent patients, clinics, insurance companies, or individual health practitioners. So health law, the federal government employs attorneys in this field to oversee the crafting, implementation, and enforcement of policies. Health law specialists also work at academic institutions and biotechnology and pharmaceutical companies. So health law, that's a good area of law too. So health law is involved in the field that focuses on legislation related to health care, all the health care issues. So if you run into a problem with your health insurance, any health care issues that you may have, sometimes people have problems with, they may have a health problem, they may have to have surgery, but the insurance won't pay for it, issues like that, and then other issues may come up, and it says health law attorneys may represent, because they represent patients. So if you have a problem with your health insurance and you have a problem with them paying, I'm just giving an example. You having a problem with them paying, you need them to pay for a surgery or some medicine or something that you need, and it's a lot of issues that may come up. Let's say the federal government employs attorneys in this field to oversee the crafting, implementation, and enforcement of policies. Then we have immigration law. Immigration, we have a lot of immigrants. They're trying to come to the United States, so they have to be protected as well. And then in the United States, they have this special laws set in place for the immigrants when they do come over. So they have, procedures that they have, systems and stuff that, the United States have set up. So when the immigrants do come over, they have to abide by this certain system, that the United States has for them. That's, already in place. But then, so sometimes immigrants, they may need a immigration lawyer. So immigration lawyers work with individual clients at all stages of a naturalization process, as I said. So when immigrants trying to get naturalized, they may need an immigration lawyer to walk them through the steps, help them get through the steps, getting the applications, paperwork filled out. Other aspects of the profession relate to refuge and asylum seekers, as well as to individuals in the country without legal permission. Some immigrants over in the United States without permission, they may need an immigration lawyer. So This field of law varies significantly from country to country. Much of this practice depends on international treaties, bilateral accords, and political conjecture. Then we have the intellectual property law, international law, and we have the labor law. So let's go with the intellectual property law. Intellectual property law focuses on protecting the rights of inventors, authors, and businesses to their tangible and intangible creations, inventions, and symbols. So intellectual property, like I wrote a couple books, and then we have, I have books. So these will, come under intellectual property. So intellectual property law, somebody wrote a book. Now I wrote a few books. So that will come under intellectual property law. So intellectual property law focuses on protecting the rights of inventors, authors. So people like me, authors, inventors, businesses, to their tangible and intangible creations, inventions, and symbols. Legal professionals in this field are often experts in a particular domain, such as science, the arts, or an industry. For example, trademark or copyright attorneys manage the legal aspects of contracts, visual identity, brand names, or slogans. Technological advances, notably in digital reproduction and transmission, make this a dynamic field of law. Yeah, that is a dynamic field. I can believe that because I see that they have also, they said, I just read over that, it says for trademark or copyright attorneys. Imagine being a trademark or copyright attorney. That sounds interesting. Then we have international law. International law is broad in its conception and can be broken down into private and public sectors. In the private sector, specialists in international law may work in finance and trade divisions of multinational corporations. So multinational corporations that own other corporations. Familiarity with business essentials as well as corporate law or intellectual property law would be helpful in this field. In the public international law, practitioners will work on cases that involve dealings between sovereign nations. Familiarity with comparative law or public international law would be most helpful for effective practice in this field. Both private and public international law are interdisciplinary in nature and would involve an understanding of the differences between common law and civil law systems across borders. So you can read more up on these different areas of law. I just wanted to go over them. Then we have labor law, military law, labor law. Gotta look. Labor law. So we have labor law, and that is concerned with the relations between workers and their employers on matters ranging from wages and compensation through harassment to discrimination, discrimination based on gender, disability, or age. Labor law often involves collective bargaining and unions. Attorneys in this field may represent individual clients, a union, a government regulatory agency, or an employer. So labor law, you can be working for a job, work for a company, and you might find that you need a labor lawyer because you're having problems with your employer. You were having problems with, you having problems on the job. Discrimination, sexual harassment. Because it says labor law is concerned with relations between workers and their employers on matters ranging from wages. You might have a dispute with your pay raises, or you didn't get a raise, or you got fired and you were unjustly fired. Something of that nature. Ranging from wages and compensation to harassment to discrimination based on gender, disability, or age. In other words, you're working for a company and they fired you because of your disability, or they fired you because women, sometimes they get, want to have want to extend their family and they want to have children. So they need to go out, on maternity leave or something. Sometimes jobs will not, want you to come back after, after you have, given birth, but so labor law, a labor law attorney, and we have military law. You may need a military law attorney. Military law involves codes and procedures that govern legal matters in the armed forces. So, somebody in the army, I wonder if it has anything to do with the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, and the Marines. But right here it just say military law involved and procedures. It just say armed forces. So it says since 1951, military law has been based in the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Legal experts in this field are typically members of the armed forces serving in the Judge Advocate General's Corps. So that's military law. So, you have a relative in the army, in the army. You in the military, you have a relative in the military, you having any problems, you might need a military lawyer. That's military law. Then we have personal injury law, like car accidents, you have your personal injury protection under your car insurance policy. So personal injury law deals with intentional or unintentional wrongdoing that affects individuals physically or psychologically. And personal injury can happen on the job too. You on a job and you were injured on the job. You say, for instance, you had a co-worker or somebody, the floor was wet and you slipped or something fell on your head from the ceiling. So personal injury can happen on the job as well. Experts in the field are well versed in tort law. And may work on cases involving medical malpractice, accidental collisions, product liability, wrongful death, or workplace injury. Many cases are settled out of court in this field of legal practice. Yeah, personal injury law, most cases are settled out of court. So then we have real estate law, tax law. So real estate law involves land or construction ownership, development, litigation, tenant rights, or landlord disputes. Attorneys in this field that work on residential or commercial transactions, review contracts, or work in planning and other government offices. That's real estate law. So they involve land or construction ownership. So in other words, you purchase some land, you purchase a house, you have a problem with I guess I would say you might have a problem with, you could have a problem with the owner that sold it to you. So real estate law, you have a problem with in other words, you have a real estate, you have somebody to help you, may have helped you find the house and, that company. So you might have a problem with them, or it could be the owner, you purchased the house from another, one owner, the landlord. I guess once you finish paying for it, it'll be yours. But if you run into any problems here before, so they saying tenant rights, landlord disputes, so they deal with that too. Attorneys in this field may work on residential or commercial transactions, review contracts, or working in planning and other government offices. So they help with the contracts, dealing in, so if you need a real estate lawyer, then that's what they work on. Litigation, tenant rights, and then we have tax law. Tax law is a dynamic field that deals with domestic and international transactions. Because of the frequent modifications to local, state, and federal codes and the complexity of fiscal policy that guides these changes, experts in tax law engage in continuous education at greater rates than in many other fields of law. Apart from ensuring the legality of the levies on economic transactions, tax lawyers help clients reduce fiscal liabilities. So if you feel you need a tax lawyer, so this is a dynamic field, as they saying, and dealing in domestic and international transactions. So international in other countries, domestic within the country that you were born in, and then also international. So in other words, they are, tax laws all over the world. So then let me see which ones I Okay, let me check off the ones. Let me start at the top. I want to check off the ones so I won't have to look up admiralty law. Admiralty law. I did bankruptcy. Bankruptcy. We did business law, civil rights. Civil rights. I don't see civil rights. I didn't put it down. Then I did criminal. Okay, I did criminal. Entertainment. Environmental. Family law. Family law, health law. Health law, immigration law, intellectual property law, international law, and labor law, military, personal injury, tax law. I did real estate law too, okay. So let me see, I did all of them on this page. Okay, let's look for, let me go into civil rights laws. Civil rights. So civil rights laws, we have banking and debt finance law, charity law, civil litigation and dispute resolution law. Okay, let's go to banking and finance law. Let's start from the top of the list. Banking and financial law. Let me see, banking and financial law. Let me type in definition, banking and financial law, define. Okay, it says how banking works, types of banks, and how to choose the best bank for you. So no, I'm looking for banking and debt finance. I don't even see it. I'll type it in separate then. Banking law. Okay, bank laws and regulations. Bank laws and regulations. So it didn't give me, it didn't give me what I wanted, but let me see. They have banking and debt finance law, charity law, commercial law, construction law, consumer law, corporate law. Banking and debt law defined. Okay. What is banking and debt finance law? Banking and debt finance is a broad practice area, so most law firms divide it into smaller practice groups such as acquisition finance, leverage finance, leasing finance, and asset finance. So in other words, banking law, I assume that would deal with in other words, if you have a lot of money, you have a little bit of money, and you want to, you have a problem with well, you put a lot of money in the bank, say 20 million, and then the bank put a freeze on your funds. You might want to have a banking and debt finance lawyer. Say, hey, look, the bank put a freeze on my money. I put 50 million in this account, 20 million over here. Or whatever you have. It could be $1,000, $500. So you still might need a banking and debt finance lawyer. What is banking and debt finance law? Banking and debt finance is a broad practice area. It said this area of law is less confrontational and more consensus-driven than litigation, and a slightly less adversarial practice area than, for example, mergers and acquisition work. This is largely because in this area the bargaining power tends to lie heavily with the lender party. Why study banking and debt finance law? Studying this area of law will not only allow you to progress in the field, it would also give you lifelong financial skills. So it's a good area to get in. It's giving you good financial skills. Money does indeed make the world turn around. So this area of law will continue to rise as the economy develops and poses interesting questions, including those regarding cryptocurrencies, tech investments, and financing space exploration. So now with this era of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, so this would be, in other words, it's saying this would be a good area of law to get into. What does a banking and debt finance lawyer do? What does a banking, debt, finance lawyer do? While there are common things, there are also clear differences in the work of banking and debt lawyers depending on the sub-practice area. Acquisition and leverage finance. Acquisition and leverage finance legal work involves handling the financing for leveraged buyouts, public takeovers, private acquisitions, recapitalizations, and asset purchases. In other words, you run a business, or you don't have to run a business, but you are purchasing some large assets, say for instance for your company. You might need a banking and debt finance lawyer. The work is complicated, highly structured, and involves sophisticated inter-creditor and security sharing arrangements. This practice area frequently requires lawyers to work closely with mergers and acquisition lawyers and experts in other fields such as taxation and competition. They also provide debt advice to acquiring borrowers and private equity investors. So private equity investors. So you're a private equity investor. You want to invest privately in this company or that building, or whatever you see fit, that you want to invest in, and you might need something dealing with acquisition. You might need a lawyer that's up to know what he's doing. Acquisition and leverage finance. He has that experience. And then what is asset finance and leasing? Leasing and asset finance legal work involves acting for lessors, financiers, lessees, manufacturers, export credit agencies, and operators. Lawyers advise on the financing of specific assets or of entire portfolios of the asset and the regulation that governs specific areas. The lender normally takes security over the assets in question. Typical high-value capital assets that are financed include aircraft, ships, telecoms, equipment, rail equipment, and power stations. So it says typical high-value capital assets. So in other words, you have that's why I say large assets. You need you might need a banking and debt finance lawyer. And so I'm not going to read all this, but what is banking litigation? Banking litigation work is about dealing with financially related disputes, such as cases regarding mis-selling claims, insider dealing proceedings, contractual disputes, enforcement of rights against lenders and enforcement actions under money laundering regulations. For regulatory investigations, lawyers may act as investigator or representing institutions and witness in investigations. Lawyers in this area will regularly conduct continuous, I couldn't even say that word. Lawyers in this area will regularly conduct contentious disciplinary matters before financial regulators, persuading them not to proceed with enforcement actions against your clients or attempting to gain significant reductions in proposed fines. Okay, I think then they also have real estate finance. I'm not gonna read all that, but the next one I have is, let me go to charity law and see what charity law. I've never heard of charity law. Let me see what that is. I guess if you're giving money to a charity, you know, I don't know if there's any problem with, you know, say for instance you giving money, you donate money to a charity and you want to know where's the money at. You want to make sure that it reached the right charity that you donated, you know, that you donated to. So, charity law, and then I have commercial law. Commercial law, I guess that's like business, because commercial is like business law. Then they have construction law, consumer law. You know, we all are consumers, so that is a good law. That's a good field to be in. Excuse me. So let me go to charity law. Charity law. Let me see. Wait a minute. Oh, here it is. Charity law. Let me see what charity law is. What are the rules of charity law? Let me see. Charity law. See, charitable organizations in the United States. Charities are created using entities such as trusts and companies created under state law. Charity law, here go one right here. Let me see, charity law. Let me see if I get a clear understanding. This law applies to natural persons. Oh, charity law. The charity law of the People's Republic, oh, that's China. That's China. That's the People's Republic of China. Let me see. Okay, let me see if I can find. This is China. China law translate. No, I want to deal with the United States of America. What's that? Charity law. Charity law. Oh, let me type in define. So when I just type the word, it doesn't give me. So now when I say charity law define, charity law covers the rules regulating to the setting up and operation of charities and non-profit organizations. As I said, giving money to charities. So setting up. It covers the rules regulating the setting up and operation of charities. In other words, you want to set up a charity. So I was just looking at it as though, you know, I had money that I wanted to donate to charity. But in other words, they help you when you want to set up a charity. Yeah, you want to set up a charity organization of your own nonprofit, so you can get a charity lawyer. It is an ideal way to combine a career in law with a passion for anything charitable, such as the arts and culture, the environment, human rights, working with young people, and sport. What does a charity lawyer do? What does a charity lawyer do? Let me see. What does a charity lawyer do? But it doesn't tell you right here. Let me see, what is a charity lawyer? So in other words, you want to set up a non-profit. It says charity law covers the rules regulating the setting up and operation of charities. What does a charity lawyer do? Charity lawyers, so in other words, you want to set up a non-profit. You want to set up a charity. It says charity lawyers They either work for a firm specializing in this area or in-house at larger charities. This type of work includes working on wills and trusts, advising on governance and managing charitable statutes and relationships with the charity commission. Charity lawyers often deal with inquiries regarding tax and VAT, inheritance law, data protection, contracts, mergers, takeovers, partnerships, fundraising, political activities, and campaigning, trading, gaming, and lotteries. So you win a lottery, and it's a whole lot that they deal with. They deal with contracts, mergers, takeovers, partnerships. In other words, you formed a partnership. You formed a partnership business. You didn't want a sole proprietorship. You didn't want an LLC. You didn't want a corporation, but you formed a partnership. You need a charity lawyer. So they're dealing with inheritance law, data protection, contracts, mergers, fundraising, trading, gaming, lotteries. Oh, they do a lot. And the skills required for a charity lawyer, to succeed as a charity lawyer, you would need to proactively communicate with all stakeholders on key matters and handle matters of a complex nature. Building strong and trusted relationships and being able to influence at a senior level will help you drive decisions on compliance, governance, and best practice issues. Well, I tell you this, there's just so much you can learn through research. So I learned a whole lot, just research, But, okay, it says how to become a charity lawyer. Why not read it all? To work as a solicitor within the charity sector, you can either take the solicitor's qualifying examination, or if you are eligible, you can study the legal practice course. You can take the legal practice course. If you qualify through the SQE, that is the solicitor's qualifying examination, SQE. If you qualify through that, you also need to complete 2 years of qualifying work experience. To prepare for the SQE, we recommend studying one of our SQE courses, which have been designed to give you the knowledge and skills for a successful career as a solicitor. So I'm not going to read too much more of that, so let's go on to, we have commercial law, construction law, consumer law, and corporate law. And I think that would be it. And also, I think I already talked about family law. So let's go to commercial law. Commercial law. Let me see how much time do I have. Let me see. Okay, I'm good time. Okay, I'm good time. It's only not even an hour yet. It's like 42 minutes. So glad you could join me. Hope you will hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. Give me a chance. I'm trying to provide good quality content, educational, inspirational, enlightening. So let me go to, let's do commercial law. Let's see what commercial deals in businesses, but Uniform Commercial Code, so it's a lot, just not just business, but the UCC, it says commercial definition. Oh, wait a minute, hold on, did I type it in? Oh, okay, I just typed commercial and not commercial law. Commercial law, defined. Okay. So let's see what commercial law, commercial law, a broad concept that describes the substantive law that governs transactions between, as I said, business. Governs the transactions between business entities, with the exception of maritime transportation of goods, regulated by admiralty and maritime law. So commercial law, what does commercial law, is there a difference between business and commercial law? Commercial law, business and Business law and commercial law, the two, distinctions. Commercial law focuses on the sale and distribution of goods, as well as financing of certain transactions. Business law focuses on other aspects of business, including forming a company, mergers and acquisitions, shareholders' rights, and property issues such as leasing office or warehouse space. A business that sells products. In other words, a business that sells products or offers a service. So in other words, commercial law focuses on sale and distribution of goods. So you're selling goods, you're distributing goods, and as well as financing certain transactions. So you're selling goods and services, you're getting everything financed. That's commercial law. Then you have business law, because I took business law. I had to take a course called business ethics. Then I had to take a finance course. So business law, and we talked about, in the book it was criminal law, civil law, tort law, contract law. So we covered those 4 laws in that one book. Business law focuses on the other aspects of business, including forming a company, mergers and acquisitions, shareholders' rights, and property issues such as leasing office or warehouse space. So let's go to construction law. Let me see so if my teacher says, Shirley, write me a 5-page paper on all the terms that you just went over on your YouTube channel. And could you write me a paper without, going back and do more research? I was like, sure, I could. I think I could. I don't think I could. I know I could. So let's go with construction law. Let's define the definition of construction law. So that seems like company oriented. It could be equipment company, you're running a construction company. Construction law is a branch of law that deals with matters relating to building, construction, engineering, and related fields. It is in essence an amalgam of contract law, commercial law, planning law. It said just learn another new one. Planning law, employment law, and tort law. In other words, you're dealing in construction. Of course, you might have a contract to deal with, because that's understandable. You have a contract to build 5 houses for this particular company. Build me these 5 houses. You have to have all the equipment. Your company have all the equipment and all that. You definitely need a contract. Definitely need a contract. So it says construction law is a branch of law. It deals with matters relating to building, construction. So building, construction, definitely 9 times out of 10, you will have contracts. Engineering and related fields, they would deal with contract law, commercial law, and commercial is business law. It's like dealing in the business field. And then you have planning law, employment law, and tort law. Let me put on here planning law. So many. And then let's do consumer law. So, I'm just dabbling a little bit into it. You can always take it a little further. I'll put the names of the ones, a few of them on my, on the title of this video. So you can always, take it a step further. So I always tell my sons, I always tell my friends, I'll tell you a little bit about this or that if I know something about it, I'll tell you something about it. And sometimes I may not be able to go in depth with it, deep into it. I'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about. You can always take that a little further and do more research yourself. But sometimes, some people don't like doing no research, but I love doing research. So let's do consumer law. I think this is, let's see, consumer. Let's do, I think I got one more after this, and that's it. I see consumer, I think I'll do one more after this, which would be, I think that's the last one anyway, corporate law. Corporate law will be the last one. Okay, consumer law refers to laws that prevent businesses from treating their customers unfairly. As I said, we are the consumers, we are the customers. We have a problem. Say for instance, you go to Walmart, you go to Target, you go to Kmart, you order some items from Amazon, and you run into a problem. So you can, you run into a real big problem. Well, it could be a small problem. If you need a consumer lawyer, this legislation is passed by the government to protect customers against issues such as fraud or mis-selling when they buy a product or service. So if we buy a product or service, we don't want to feel that we purchased something that somebody already had and they try to sell it to us, and it's not up to the quality that, in other words, when you look at it before you order it, you're looking at the quality, you're looking at the price, so then when you get it, there's something different, almost like a bait and switch type deal. But consumer law refers to laws that prevent businesses from treating their customers unfairly. That's consumer law. Consumer law definition, principles, and importance. I'm going to read a little bit. So consumer law is very important because we are all consumers and we need this type of law on our side. Consumer law. Yes, definitely. Because we don't want nobody trying to get over us without we're spending our money. But then at the same time, you got to think about if I were running my own business, then my customers, they will want to be protected too through these consumer laws. So it's not just me going to purchase from another company, but that too. But if I have my own business, and then, somebody might run into a problem, hopefully they won't. So when I do start my business, I definitely want to make sure that I have everything on point, everything, because the customer is very important to your business, because you want to treat them, fair, you want to offer them value, you want to offer them customer satisfaction, great customer service, you want them to come back. The idea is to have the customer, to keep the customer coming back. So, Walmart, Kmart, Target, and all those large brand businesses, just think how many years they have been around. They have been around for so many years, and we just keep going back. We have to ask ourselves, why do we go back? I know why I go back. Because I love the quality, like McDonald's, Wendy's, Church's Chicken, and Popeyes, and I love the quality of the food. I love the prices. I love the customer service. I love the convenience. And then when it comes to Target, Walmart, Kmart, Kohl's, Amazon, I just love it. And it's the convenience with some of them, the stores, and it's the convenience. And also it's the prices, it's the customer service, like Amazon, they are very much geared toward the customer. Now they have, you can order food now and they're delivered right to your door. Who don't want that type of service? So they're delivered right to your door. And also Walmart, they deliver, they have, and then you go in the store, they have everything you want. Clothes, food, just everything you want. You just don't, you can get everything in one place. Walmart and, Walmart and Target too. Matter of fact, Target has food and clothes and hygiene items, toilet paper, toothpaste, everything you need in one place. Food. The only thing they don't have is fast food, but we don't need that. They have groceries, so you get your groceries and get your groceries, you get your notebook paper, you can get a computer up there, a tablet, flowers, pillows, sheets, pancakes, pancake mix, eggs, whatever you need. Socks, even shoes, something for your whole family, So like I said, consumer law, it protects, protects us as consumers. We are consumers, we are customers. So in other words, and also if you have a business, then it protects your customers that come to shop at your brand. So consumer law, the products you buy have to comply with their description, right? You can't just put something online on your website and it's new on the website, but then when you send it to your customer, or even they come to the store to get it, then it's, it's old. They're like, no, you know what? When I checked it out on the website and I ordered it, it was brand new, it was this such and such price, and now when I, you delivered it to my home and it's totally different. So it says, did you know that as a customer you are protected under numerous laws that oblige businesses to serve you in an appropriate manner? For example, the products you buy have to comply with their description, right? Can't be no bait and switch. It means that they have to look and work as described on the website or label. So whatever you put on the label, it has to be exactly, product has to be exactly what it says on that label. If the goods are not in compliance, the customer is eligible for free repairs, replacement, or even a refund. The term consumer law refers to all the rules and regulations regarding customers and how they should be treated by businesses. And it says, let me see, I don't want to read a whole lot. Consumer law definition and importance. There are many ways in which businesses can treat their customers unfairly. For example, they might sell products and services that do not match their description in terms of appearance, quality, or quantity. Businesses are obliged to follow certain rules and regulations in relation to how they treat their customers. So I'm not going to read all this, but it says consumer law refers to laws that prevent businesses from treating their customers unfairly. So none of us want to be treated unfairly. When we're spending our money, we work hard. We're spending money, we're buying things for our family, our husbands, our wives, our kids, our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, whomever we are purchasing for, ourselves. We want to make sure we're getting what we make sure we're getting what we paid for. So when you're dealing with your company, you definitely want to make sure that you definitely want to offer that customer value. There would be no value in your products and services if they are not, if you are not offering to your customer, products and services that will, satisfy the customer. Like you said, it says that you say, how you say if you say your products, actually if you portray your products, in other words, you have your website, if you portray your products and when a customer looking at your products, that means you're portraying your products in a certain light for your customer. Now, when the customer gets the products home, and then, or even when they, if they order online and they get their products, they're like, no, this is, when I ordered it online, it did not look like this. Now, you're trying to run, trying to switch up on me. Principles of consumer law. So I'm not going to read all this. So in other words, the Consumer Rights, it said Consumer Rights Acts. The Consumer Rights Act covers product quality, returning goods, repairs and replacement, delivery rights, unfair terms and contracts. I think that was the last one, consumer. Oh, okay, I think I had corporate law. It said consumer law requires all products and services to be satisfactory quality, in good condition and not damaged or broken. It also requires that the product is also described and looks the way business claims and serves the purpose described on its label. If a product or service does not meet these standards, a consumer has a right to either return it or ask for repair or replacement. So let me go to the last one, which is corporate law. And then if you're selling some products and they're not up to standard, they're not up to the quality that they're supposed to be, then you cannot have, there will not be a satisfied customer. Your customer will go over to your competitors. They go like, no, I ordered this from I ordered this from this particular company, and when I got it in the mail, it was not, it didn't look the same as it did online, so I would not shop at that company again. So that would not be a satisfied customer, because they're like, no, I'm not shopping there no more. Or even, I'm not going to shop there no more, but I'm going to, make sure they give me my refund, because, this doesn't make any sense. So the last one I said was corporate law defined. So business is, it's very important to satisfy the customer. You need that quality product. You need those quality services. You need customer satisfaction. You need to make sure you are creating. I guess I could say you should make sure you're creating that value for the customer. You need value in your products and your services. You run in a nail salon, you don't want to be, less quality work. Your customers, they so used to coming in, seeing how good you do nails, and then you start falling off, and then the quality of your work is not up to par. You start falling off. Then that's a quick way to make you lose customers. They'll be like, no, I'm not coming back over there. I'll go across